Welcome back to Brutal Horrors, where the monsters hide in plain sight. Imagine a quiet guy next door, polite, unassuming, but behind his door, pure evil. Jeffrey Dahmer, the Milwaukee Cannibal, lured 17 young men and boys to his apartment between 1978 and 1991. What happened inside was beyond imagination. Murder, dismemberment, necrophilia, and cannibalism. How did he get away with it for so long? And what drove him to preserve body parts like trophies? Tonight, we enter the nightmare of Jeffrey Dahmer. Viewer discretion advised. If you're ready for the darkness, subscribe and hit the bell. We're just getting started. Born in 1960 in Milwaukee, Jeffrey seemed like a normal kid at first. Energetic, happy. But after hernia surgery at age 4, he changed. Became quiet, withdrawn. His parents' marriage crumbled. Constant fights, his mother depressed and medicated, attempting suicide. Dahmer felt abandoned, unsure if his family would stay together. From a young age, he was obsessed with death. Collecting roadkill, dissecting animals, preserving bones in jars in a backyard hut. What would happen if we bleached these? He'd ask his dad innocently. By high school, he was drinking heavily, fantasizing about complete control, bodies that couldn't leave him. He later said his urges started as a teen, wanting to dominate, to own. The seeds of a monster were planted, and no one noticed the warning signs? His first kill. 1978, just weeks after graduating. Picked up hitchhiker Stephen Hicks, brought him home for drinks. When Hicks wanted to leave, Dahmer struck, strangling him, dismembering the body, scattering the bones. He paused for years. But in 1987, the floodgates opened. Targeting vulnerable young men, many gay, minority, runaways, at bars and malls. Victims like Stephen Tuomi, James Dockstader, just 14, Richard Guerrero, lured with promises of money, photos, or sex. Drug drinks led to unconsciousness, then strangulation, slow and deliberate. But Dahmer didn't stop at death. Necrophilia on warm bodies, drilling skulls to inject acid or boiling water, trying to lobotomize them into compliant zombies, eating biceps or hearts to feel them inside him forever, painting skulls gray to blend with his decor. He kept trophies, genitals in formaldehyde, full skeletons. The apartment reeked of chemicals and decay. How did 17 lives vanish before anyone connected the dots? One of the most chilling moments, May 1991. 14-year-old Kanarek synthesophone, drug drilled into, naked, escaped the apartment and ran into the street. 3 police officers found him confused and bleeding. Dahmer convinced them Kanarek was his 19-year-old boyfriend, just drunk after a fight. Despite 2 women begging police to help, claiming he was a child, officers handed him back to Dahmer. They even joked about it on radio. Hours later, Kanarek was dead, strangled and posed in photos. Police missed Polaroids of victims in the bedroom. If they'd searched, 5 more lives could have been saved. This failure haunts the case, a tragic mix of incompetence and bias. Dahmer later called it his closest call. July 22nd, 1991. Tracy Edwards escaped and led police back. The raid uncovered hell. Heads in the fridge, hands in pots, acid barrels bubbling. Dahmer confessed calmly, detailing every horror. Sane at trial, fully aware he got 15 life terms in Wisconsin plus 1 in Ohio. In prison, he converted to Christianity, but November 28, 1994, fellow inmate Christopher Scarver, claiming God told him to, beat Dahmer to death with a barbell. The Milwaukee Monster was no more. Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment was a factory of nightmares. He craved control and a life of abandonment, and destroyed 17 innocent souls to get it. What turns a quiet boy into a cannibal? Evil doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers from next door. That's all for today's descent into darkness. If these brutal horrors chilled you to the bone and left you hungry for more, smash that subscribe button. Hit the bell icon and join the shadows. We'll be waiting for you. Next time, stay terrified.